Hey everybody! Montreal Canadiens played Washington Capitals last night, and I had predicted that Washington was going to beat them 5-3. And guess what happened? That's not what happened. The Habs came out with a 5-2 victory. They totally outplayed Washington. So I'm going to tell you about that game. I'm going to tell you about who scored, how they scored, kind of what happens, my thoughts on it, my 3 stars of the game. And in this video, there's a bonus because there's a game tonight. Montreal's playing New Jersey Devils at home, and I'm going to give you a preview for that as well. So that's all right here. Talking Habs, the home of, there's only one place here. The home of Habs hockey, where everything's dedicated to the Habs and all things hockey. And if you go down there and subscribe and ring that notifications bell, that'll get you your daily fix of blue, blanc, rouge from Talking Habs. And while you're at it, you can give a thumbs up if you like the video, and you can also leave any comments that you may have in the comment section right down there below. And once again, this. Okay, let's get right to it. So Montreal played Washington last night, and I figured they were in tough. Washington is leading the league, and I think they were on like an 11 games without a loss, and they got Alex Ovechkin and all that stuff. Anyway, so Washington ended up playing their backup goalie because they're playing today as well against Boston, and they wanted Braden Holtby in there for that, and can't blame him for that. So I don't know what his name is. Ilya or Igor, or I don't know what his name is. Samsonov. So Samsonov was in nets. And I'll tell you something. The game started out, and first few minutes, it looked like Montreal was in tough, and they're going to struggle in this game against a stronger team leading the league. And all that. And I'll tell you something, once the period was halfway through, Montreal was ahead in shots. They weren't necessarily ahead in play because I found that Washington was just getting too much zone time. They were in Montreal's zone, not necessarily giving Carey Price fits and starts, but whatever shots they did get, Price was up to it. He was really good last night. And then somewhere, I guess, around the 13, 14-minute mark, Montreal started to be in their zone and starting to have pressure. And it seemed like the tide just turned. And from that point on, Montreal did not look back. Not at all. So they just got better and better. After a bit of a feel-out, first 12 minutes, 13 minutes or so. Although I say feel-out, but I think Washington was really trying to, dominate them, and it just didn't work because Montreal just came back. And on top of that, Samsonov, he kind of was looking shaky. And one of my subscribers, who's a really good goalie guy, Jeff, he was telling me that after the first period that Samsonov is making a lot of mistakes, and watch out, Montreal's going to come back or is going to take over. And that is exactly what happened. So after the first period, no goals, 15 shots for Montreal, 8 for Washington, and no power plays at all. So the second period rolls around, and it starts out Montreal dominating, starting to show, what they've got in their zone all the time, doing the opposite of the first period. It would go in Montreal zone but come back out quick. They started to clear the puck. They really made a good adjustment. Mike Johnson explained it, and I'm telling you, I can't remember what it was that they adjusted. Sorry, I'm just a regular layman guy like you guys. But they made an adjustment in the first period, and that's what turned it around, is they adjusted how they were responding to Washington's attack. So at 6:22, there's a battle along the boards. The puck comes out to Tatar. He feeds it over to Danault at the right slot, and he gathers it up, and he puts it in the net. So really nice play by Tatar and Danault. Let's see now. It was a real beauty I wrote here. So it's Danault, his 6 from Tatar and Galley. So it's Gallagher that got it over to Tatar. Words won't come out today. Been baking bread all morning, so sorry, a little bit tired. That's why the video's out a bit late. If anybody, all my regular viewers, if you're wondering why, that's why. Okay, so at 9:16, so like barely 3 minutes later, Weber. And he one times a beauty, I mean a rocket of a shot from Sherratt. Sherratt passed it over to him. And from the low half wall, he was really low on the half wall. And the angle was kind of off, but he took the shot. And it was like literally a rocket. You could almost see fire coming out of the back of it. And Samsonov, he didn't want any part of that. He ducked. He ducked down. He didn't want any part of that shot. I've seen it before where a goalie ducks. They're usually not good goalies. But you don't see that very often at all. Maybe once or twice now I've seen that. Well, before that. So it's 2-0. So that's Weber is 6 from Sherratt and Deneau. At 11:41, so there, 2.5 minutes later, Wheel gets the puck from Thompson behind the net. So he's right behind the net on one side. He wheels all the way around, literally his name. And they call it going around the world. So he literally, and I don't know if it was backwards, but skating backwards, but he went all the way around through the high slot, right around, and he backhanded it into the net, but it hit the far post, bounced off, hit Samsonov's leg in the back, and bounced in. So Wheel gets his third, and that's from Thompson and Tatar. Tatar got a lot of points today. 4 points for Tatar today. Last night. At 12:36, less than a minute later from that, Hathaway gets a tripping penalty. So Montreal goes on the power play, and Deneau at 14:42. So it's just as the penalty expired, right? Like 6 seconds later. Deneau passes cross ice through the low slot to Suzuki. And then he tries to feed Galley. He actually makes a pass to Galley, who's on the other side in the crease. And the puck hits the stick of the defender, I don't know who it was, and goes in. So a bit of a lucky goal, but Suzuki will take it. So Suzuki is 4th goal, and that's from Deneau. Let's see. So it was a dominating period by Montreal. They controlled the offensive zone, almost like they moved into the Washington zone and started unpacking. Literally, they were just in the zone so much. Montreal gets better and better as the game goes on. Drouin was leveled by Ovechkin. He missed the rest of the period. He was in concussion protocol, but he came back for the third, so he was fine. And there was no penalty to Ovi, even though he sort of left his feet. I have to see the replay again, but at least he hit him and then left his feet. Or while he was just leaving his feet, he hit him. It was pretty heavy hit. Let's see. So that's 15 shots for Montreal, 9 for Washington, and a power play. Not a power play goal, but right after. So next period starts at 4:13. Petrie goes off for interference, and at 5:34, Washington does get a goal. Power play goal from Ovi. He gets it. He gets his 14th with a one-timer, but not a slap shot one-timer. Kind of a sweeping wrist shot, but beautifully timed. Right in his office, pretty much where Weber got his goal from. That's his office. And so Ovi is 14 from Carlson and Backstrom. At 15:38, Kuznetsov breaks in alone, and he dekes to the left and beats Price. So a nice move by Kuznetsov, and decent goal. His 9th goal from Wilson. It's 4-2. We're starting to get worried here. They pull Samsonov with I think like 3 minutes left, somewhere around that mark. I didn't write it down. And at 17:29, they're in the Habs zone. Puck gets to Tatar. He whips it down the ice at the net, and he scores. So it's Tatar gets his 7th from Sherratt and Weber. That's Tatar's 4th point of the night. And the Habs win 5-2. So almost, I called it 5-3 Washington, almost that way the opposite. And I even said, lately, every game that I've been thinking Montreal's going to lose, they come back and win. So I'm going to start calling it for the other team all the time, and that way Montreal will win every game. The 3 stars for me. These are my 3 stars of the Habs. Tatar, 1st star for a goal and 3 assists. He's got 19 points in 19 games. Number 2, Price. He didn't have a hard game, but he made some really good stops. 27 shots, 25 saves. And 3rd star, Deneau. He had a goal and 2 assists. Played really well. Such a good player. I love this guy. This team is amazing. Honorable mention, Suzuki for that nice play. He had some nice plays. He's looking really comfortable at center, coming into his game. And Weber for a goal and an assist and that rocket shot. Amazing. So those are my 3 stars and 2 honorable mentions. Montreal had 40 shots, and the other 2 Caps had 28. Montreal is 59% in the faceoff circle. Really good. The other doesn't matter. Montreal is now 11-5-3, 2nd in the Atlantic. And now we're going to go into The Devils at Habs. So Montreal flew back home last night, and they're hosting the Devils today. So they're hosting the Devils. I'll give you some bullet points from New Jersey. They're tied for fewest goals in the league with 45. They scored 2 or less goals in each of their last 6 games. Mackenzie Blackwood might play tonight after beating the Pens 2-1 last night. He's playing well and keeping the Devils in games. And Schneider, I'll give you his stats out, not doing well. They are 6-8-4 and 8th in the Metro, 4-4-2 in their last 10, 3-5-0 on the road, and 3-5-2 against the East. Their goals for is 45 and goals against 66, so they're not scoring much and they're giving up quite a bit. Taylor Hall is 2-13 for 15 points, 66 shots on goal. Palmieri is 6-5-11 points, 42 shots, and Jack Hughes is third on the team with 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points, -7, not great, and all on this team, and 34 shots on goal. Mackenzie Blackwood is 6-4-3 with a 2.78 and a 9.03 save percentage, and amazingly a shutout. Surprise there. And Schneider, in case he's in, is 0-4-1 with a 4.59 and an 8.52 save percentage. Horrible. Hope he's in today. Their power play percentage is 12.5 for 28th in the league, and PK is 75.4 for 24th in the league. Montreal is 11-5-3 and second in the Atlantic. Like I said, on pace for 105 points right now. I called them to have 103. If they keep this pace, I went not far off. Craig Button, I just read that today, predicted Montreal finished third in the Atlantic. So he's predicting, he says Montreal looks like they're going to finish third in the Atlantic. That's where he's going. Some people don't like him, but I don't mind him, and I like that prediction. I hope that's how it turns out. KK is expected back in the lineup today. Haven't heard anything otherwise. I also haven't heard anything confirming that today, but he's supposed to be. So look for that. Kincaid should be, I don't know, they might play Price because he didn't have a hard game last night. But if it's Kincaid, he's 1-1-1, 4.36 goals against, and an 8.79 save percentage. It's his first ever start against the Devils, who he played for 6 seasons with. Habs won both games of the last back-to-backs, so this is the second game of this back-to-back. Well, hopefully they'll win, and they're at home this time. New Jersey also played last night, so they're even. And so it's not like playing a rested team. Should be an even game. Montreal should win here. Montreal is 7-2-1 in their last 10, 6-3-0 at home, 5-2-3 against the East. They've scored 69 goals. Don't laugh, anybody. 69 goals. It's just a number. And 58 goals against. Tatar is 7-12-19 points in 19 games. Weber 6-10 for 16 points. Galley 8-7 for 15 points. Power play is 20.3% for 15th. And the PK is 72.4 for 28th. Montreal just has to play their game. They got to shut down the Taylor Hall line. I don't know if Jack Hughes is with him. So I don't know if those leading scorers, it's Hall, Palmieri, and Hughes. I don't know. But if it is, they got to shut these guys down. And skate. Use their speed and skill. Do not take them lightly. If they win 8-0 or they win 8-what, so what? Just keep going. Play a 60-minute game because look, even a team like New Jersey, if you break down and you're not playing at your best, they can come back and they can do some damage too. And Kincaid has to have a solid game. So he's been making some really good saves. He's just got to stop, especially in this game, none of those stinkers. So my prediction for the game, I wrote it down, and I like to do that, and then I actually come up with it. Most of the time, I come up with it right here. This time, I wrote 4-2. I thought I'd think about it. I don't think I'm going to change that. I think it's actually going to be 4-2. The Habs played last night. They'll be a little tired. I don't think they'll score 5 or 6, but hey, they might. It's a possibility. And New Jersey gives up an average of 3.5 goals a game. And they score 2.5 goals a game. So I'm figuring 4-2. It seems to make sense to me. So that's it. That's my review of the Caps game. Montreal, Washington, and my preview for the Devils and Montreal. Since they're back-to-back games and I didn't do the review last night, I thought I'd put them together. Let's see how it goes. So hope you liked it. If you did, please give a thumbs up. And while you're heading down there, you can subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And that's going to give you all my videos and all live streams. I got a live stream tonight. Look for it at 6:30. Going to start before the game starts, and we're going to go right through the first period. So we're live streaming tonight. Don't forget to look for that. It's all you guys that stay to the end. Thank you. And I guess that's it. So, if you do subscribe, I'll also leave any comments you may have. Like, I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. I've been baking bread all morning. I was going to show you, but I don't. Hey, I'm going to show you. Just hang on. Just so you guys, I've said it before, I just want you to know, I really do make my own bread. So I made, this is one of them. I made 3 other smaller loaves, and I made some buns, and I made some hot dog buns, because I want to have hot dogs tonight before the game. I made my own hot dog buns. So there you go. So, I don't know if that interests you or not, but if you stayed long enough, you get a little bit extra tip, or a little bit more info into my life. So there you go. So hopefully you watch the game. I'm going to be on at 6:30 for the live stream. Hopefully you guys will be there. I know it's a bit of a long video, but there's 2 things in there, 2 games. So what are you going to do? And I'll see you at 6:30, and go Habs go. Go Habs go! We're going to kick some Jersey ass. That's what we're going to do. Watch and see.